This is the Brady LaRock Show.
This is the Brady LaRock Show. We are live here on TikTok. We are live here in the booth for episode 9 of the Brady LaRock Show. And I will tell you, it is a little bit weird with a visual aspect of a podcast because all I can see right now at the corner of my eye is myself, and I'm typically not looking at myself while I'm reading or talking, except for, I guess, when I'm live on TikTok. That does happen from time to time, although not as much as it used to. Something I need to get back into, but I'm excited for it. So thank you guys for joining me here live on TikTok for the podcast. If you're listening to this some point in the future, you really missed out, and maybe we'll do more live podcasts in the future. And I was thinking about kind of podcast ideas for the future as I kind of last minute threw this together, said I was going to do it live. And that is, or one of the ideas that I had was bringing on some guests finally. I went to Boston back in September, and when we got back from our trip, I had my girlfriend Chelsea on the show, and we talked, and I thought that was a lot of fun. So I'm excited to have some guests on the show. I don't have anything lined up, but I kind of got the wheels going, my thought train rolling a little bit about who I could have on. So if you guys have any on TikTok on live right now, if you guys have any ideas of who I should get on the show, but I think my first idea was to get somebody, maybe like my favorite TikTokers that I could have live, or not live, but on the podcast. I think that would be a lot of fun. Although some of the people that I follow, you know, with their 10, 20, 15, 50 million followers, I don't know if they would want to be on my podcast, but maybe some of the ones that have more time on their hands or whatnot. I feel like there are some cool people out there that I'd like to interview and just kind of keep it in the TikTok family. It'd be a lot of fun. So if you guys ever have any ideas of who I should put on, let me know. You guys let me know here on the chat now on live or on Instagram. You can send me messages. I try to check my DMs as much as possible, but I've got some cool stuff, some cool people that I follow that I want to reach out to, and hopefully I will soon. And thank you, Carmen. I appreciate that. She said not as cool as me. And what I will say, too, about this episode, if you're listening to this, I'm not going to do as much editing. I really don't do that much editing on the podcast of taking things out or cutting stuff. Sometimes I'll just edit out some pauses as I'm trying to collect my thoughts or words on something. Just kind of clean it up just a touch. But I'm not going to do that since we are live here on TikTok. Or what I'm going to try to do in doing that is sync it all up and maybe, if I can make it work, put it on YouTube. So you guys can actually, if you're not on live right now, you can watch the video with the podcast live, synced up all together, all that good stuff. But I'm excited. We are in the middle of the episode now, and I have a few things to talk about because I had an interesting weekend. I came to the realization this weekend of how busy I was. I know that I've been busy, but like things have just been falling by the wayside because of all of the stuff that I've got going on with the holidays, with sports announcing, with trying to do TikTok videos, with running a voiceover business and trying to build that up. But the two interesting things that happened was I came to the realization that I just need some more time for myself. And that one, in thinking about that, on Saturday, as I was having lunch, I was literally thinking I was going on 7 days with only leaving the house one time. And I'm reading some of these comments right now really quick because I'm glad I'm going to be recording this too. And maybe I could put this live when I put it on YouTube, and then I can go back and read some of the comments because that's a good idea. Like Gurley with some collaboration with Sean E-Tech. Does music videos. How about that? So I'm glad, and I'm just thinking about that. But so it was 7 days, or maybe like 6 days, going on 7 days, that I left the house one time because I work from home. My booth is in my house. I'm literally in here, not consistently for 12 hours a day, from 8 to 8 p.m., but sometimes I'll get in here at 7:30 in the morning. I'll have breaks where I get out, but I'm here in the booth working at some point till it's 7:30 right now as I'm recording this. And that's how long I've been in the booth today with a few breaks. But I left the house one time that week. I left Wednesday night because I had work at an SMU basketball game, and that was it. So Saturday, I was so ready to get out of the house. I was just so antsy, just ready to get out, and just like, I don't know, it just felt like this tension, just like I needed some type of release. And finally, I did. And it was really exciting because, well, really it wasn't that exciting. It was fun. Not to say that it wasn't exciting, but really we just went, Chelsea and I, we went and got something to eat and drink, and then we went to the movies, and then we came back home, and that was it. But just for that being my first time out in so long, it was really great. But what we did was I saw the movie House of Gucci Saturday night, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that since I've trying to bring back my movie watching series, watching the 100 greatest movies of all time, which unfortunately I didn't do well because I started Blade Runner and I didn't, finish it. So I've still got to do that. But I did watch House of Gucci in the movie theater. My expectations were really low. I was not wanting to watch it at all. So on TikTok, I want to know if anyone else has seen this. If you guys are on the live right now, what's going on? Good morning, my friend Muzz, who's on there. And thank you very much. It says, hey, dude, my favorite TikToker not wearing a bikini. Not yet, okay? Yet is the key word right there. But I want to know if you guys have seen that movie. Let me know. Let me know what you thought about it. But my expectations were really low. I'm going to go dark here on the screen while I shift around, but Ridley Scott directed this, and for the most part, I'm going to give it probably like a 7 out of 10, and I feel like that's a little bit generous. This show on IMDb's got a 6.9 out of 10, 61% Rotten Tomatoes, and I just didn't love it. Really, what this movie was is they tried too much to focus on the stars of the movie as opposed to like the actual storyline. And I feel like the story could have held itself up. You didn't need this many like top dollar stars. Not that like Lady Gaga is a huge actress, but just like the star factor of having Lady Gaga and Adam Driver and Jared Leto, Jeremy Irons, I'm trying to roll off the top of my head here, Pacino, like there's just it was too much. Like Jared Leto's character, he wasn't bad, but he had like a bunch of makeup on, like fake hair, and it was just like too much. We could have got somebody who actually looked like that guy instead of just to say we have Jared Leto in the movie. Anything. So that was a little bit frustrating, but so I'm reading some of the comments to see if anyone's watched it yet. Not that I see. And I would say Michael asked if it's theater worthy or home worthy. And I definitely say home worthy because one, this movie was 2 hours and 38 minutes. So at one point I was sitting there and I looked at my watch because I was wearing a watch. We'll get into this, my wrist injury here in a minute. But I looked at the watch and I was like, oh my gosh, we've got over an hour left in this movie. It was just kind of dragging in the middle. The worst part, though, I will say, is the accents. Like Adam Driver, his accent wasn't bad, but there was a couple times where it would fall in and out. To me, Lady Gaga, I thought she had a Russian accent on half the time when it should be like an Italian accent. Obviously, I think that would be obvious, but it kept it would start off at Italian and then by the end of the sentence, it was very Russian. And I just was not impressed with that. Beyond like the accents, the acting wasn't horrible. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I wasn't excited to watch Lady Gaga, but it wasn't horrible. Just like the accents were not great for me. But yeah, I feel like it could have been a little bit shorter because like I said, almost 3 hours. And I think if you just took out some of the stars, Lady Gaga, Jared Leto, like if you just like replace them with like really good actors and not like, I don't know, do better acting as opposed to just have a name on the billboard, then the movie could have been a lot better. So that's my stamp I'm putting on it. I'm saying 7 out of 10. Feel like that's a little generous. I could go like 6 out of 10, but I'm not going to be that harsh on it. It still had a good story. It just, but I think what the thing too is that it spanned over, it was so long because I think that started like in the late 60s, the story, and then it ended in 95. So it's like a 30-year span for a 2.5-hour movie. It didn't need to go as far back as it did and could have cut some of the stuff in the middle out, which it did. Oh, and the last thing. Okay, I will say about this that I did not like, I forgot about this, which now I think I might bump it down to a 6, is that they kept playing 80s music in the movie back when they were like still in the 70s, like at their wedding. Patrizia and Mauricio, their wedding, they got married in 1970. I even had to look this up because it was like throwing me off. They got married in 1972, and the song that they had playing in their wedding in the movie was George Michael's Faith, which I looked it up, and I think I looked it up correctly in the theater because it just messed with my mind. Came out in 1987. I knew it was like late 80s. I just know the exact year. So having an 1987 song kind of paint the mood of a wedding that's set in 1972. And that wasn't the only time. I can't remember the other 80s songs, but they put a bunch of 80s songs in there throughout the 70s years of the movie. And it just like, it was weird. So I'm bumping it down because I forgot about that. I'm bumping it down to a 6.7 out of 10 because of that. That takes away some key points in my opinion. So I don't recommend the movie. It's not horrible. If you wanted to see it, I still say go see it because I'm not going to say, I don't think you're going to hate it. It's not, you don't go rush and watch it. All right. Done with House of Gucci because I don't need to, like I said, it's not the best thing in the world. But anyways, we're moving on from that now. Chicago's in the house with Scott looking at the TikTok live. Lost in the 80s. What's going on, my friend? Yes, I'm recording a live podcast. And if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, let's stop down and do that. At Brady LaRock _ Make sure you're following me there. Also YouTube, all that good stuff. And then go follow the podcast and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and all the rest. Or just click the link in my bio. Randy from Nashville in the house as well, too. So, yeah, 67%. That is a failing grade for House of Gucci. That I would say that. I feel like it could have been done better. It could have been like a 9 out of 10. It could have been a really, really great movie. But it wasn't as great as it could have been, unfortunately. So I will get, though, to the wrist injury. I mean, it's not that crazy. I just thought I would talk about it because you guys can actually see it. If you couldn't see it right now, I wouldn't talk about it. I don't know what happened. This is nothing spectacular, so I guess it's not that great of a story. So we'll kind of gloss over it a little bit. But I just kind of had been having injury issues. I've been lifting weights, trying to work out, do a little bit better with my life. And I just noticed some tension on my wrist. And then the other day, I think it was Friday or Saturday morning, I was just kind of laying there in this weird position. And then I got up, and then all of a sudden, my wrist is just out of commission. It's starting to get a little bit better by wearing this brace for like 2 days and sleeping with it. But I can't turn my hand all the way. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know what the injury is. I haven't had it looked at. I don't go to the doctor very often. I have thought about that. No tennis, keyboard injury. I really thought like it's one of those like dumb injuries like that. I'm sitting here typing because I can't type with this thing now. I'm one hand typing over here, some type of something. But I think whatever, like a tendon, I'll show you here, like a tendon or something because it goes through the wrist, right? Like right in this area. And then it comes down to about here. And something like whatever moves when I go all the way this way is hurt. I don't know what it is. So if I need to get like doc talk, maybe that should be my first guest on the podcast. It should be one of the doc talks, Dr. TikTok people that are on TikTok, and they can help me through this injury and probably a lot of other stuff that I need looked at that I've avoided over the years. So yes, it's not that crazy. I just look like a mom who's about to go bowling over here with this thing on, and I feel so ridiculous wearing it. But I mean, I guess I'm not old, but as you age, little ailments like this, they'll get you. But the main topic I want to get to of the podcast today And when I was thinking about it, I'll answer this question really quick. Raising Cane's or Chick-fil-A on TikTok Live? If it's a sandwich, it's Chick-fil-A. If I want some chicken, it's Raising Cane's. But if you make the sandwich with the bread and the sauce, maybe Raising Cane's. It's a good question. But the main point of the podcast today was kind of a look back at 2021. And I found some questions. I talked about this on the last podcast episode of this company, Poddex. They have a bunch of different categories of questions. And I was reading through some of these and found some insightful things. And let me pull up the first question. So it is going to get dark here on TikTok Live a little bit, so I'll try to answer the question or read the question quick and move it away. But looking back at 2021, it was an intense year and it was a crazy year. It went by, well, the first half was great and it seemed normal, but the last 6 months went by really fast. But let's answer some questions. What was the most memorable event of this past year? That's question number one. And I grabbed 5 or 6 of these questions and I just screenshot them and I put them away. So I have not thought about these at all. I haven't looked into these. I just wanted to kind of do it live right here on TikTok, and put it all together. Just do it. F it. We'll do it live. I think the most memorable event of this year, I think if you took the word event away, I think there's a lot of different things that come to mind. But the most memorable event, I guess it's still not an event, but it's my trip to Boston. The last 6 months of the year of my life, I guess you could say at this point, from pretty much June to now, has just felt so chaotic and full of stress and me trying to do a million different things at once. And that's why I think why it felt like June was 2 weeks ago. That's honestly how it feels. So the trip to Boston, even though I did other stuff between there, I've thought about that. I even traveled a lot. I went to Houston. I went to Oklahoma. Went to Minnesota. I feel like there's another thing. We went down to South Texas for Thanksgiving. And I'm smiling while I say that's a little inside joke with Chelsea, but I think the biggest thing was going to Boston. The best, most memorable event. If you have not yet listened to that podcast of our trip to Boston, it was the most incredible thing ever. I did work there, but that to me has been the highlight of my year. Having those days where, even though I did work, I really did just kind of decompress. I didn't do as much social media, took a break from things. And it was really nice to have those moments of just relaxing and enjoying myself in another way. Because right now what I do is I spend my time enjoying myself working, because I do enjoy my work. I do enjoy making videos, and that's where I get my enjoyment. And I know that I need to learn to get my enjoyment from other things, because that's when you get burnt out. But that trip was so incredible. It was so much fun. The best trip ever with the best person ever. And I look forward to making that an annual thing because it was just incredible. Which unhealthy habits did you have in the past year? See, it's questions like this that I'm not ready to answer yet. I don't want to have to admit all of my poor things that I do. My unhealthy habits, what I did do, which, like I said, starting with this wrist injury, is me working out again and kind of getting back into better shape that I was at the beginning of the year. But really unhealthy habits, which doesn't have to be health-wise or food-wise. But really, the last 6 months, because of all of that, with all the trips I took, the most unhealthy habit that I had was eating bad and drinking, not a lot, but, what we would do is we'd go out of town and I would just eat and drink whatever I wanted to with no care in the world. And then I would come back and be like, all right, well, let's work out again and eat better. But then I was like, well, we're going to this place next week, so I'll do it when we come back from that trip. And then I'll be like, well, I'll eat better when we come back from that trip. And I'll eat better. And then 6 months later, a few pounds later, it's time to kind of get back into shape, which it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. But I think that's, looking back, what I wish I would have done a little bit better. these are not great questions. What were the worst decisions of the year and why did you make that? I think, like I said, that's kind of goes back to that. What's the worst decision of the year, which is not taking care of myself like I should. And also doing things that not taking the time to set a plan, make a plan to do things. Like I've got so many things going on that a lot of stuff falls through the cracks. I think if I just sat down and created like a roadmap of what I wanted to do, it'd be a lot easier. Finally, here's some good stuff. What did you accomplish this year? I think what I accomplished, that's a good question. What I accomplished, I think the easiest thing for that answer to be is like what I've done like on TikTok and all of you out there that are just incredible. And building and finding this community. I think that somewhere in there is the answer of what I accomplished this year. I think beyond that, growing relationships, personal relationships with certain people in this world and building those, moving, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I guess I don't want to get too much into my personal life of stuff that I want to, that I've accomplished this year. But really a lot of it is growing my personal business and brand. And where I was December 2020 to December 2021 is, next level. I honestly, probably looking back at December 2020 for my hopes and goals, I probably didn't think I would be where I am at now. So having the clients that I have, having a platform to create the fun and enjoyable content that I enjoy creating, all of that, it's been a lot of work, a lot of hard work, but I think those are probably the bigger things that I feel like I've accomplished this year. Did you live the past year in accordance with any kind of mantra or key words? No. Well, there is one, and I appreciate your kind comments on TikTok. You guys are incredible. I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, but it's the ABC. Now I can remember it right. I always forget it, but ABC. No. Dang it. CBA. Conceive, believe, achieve. If you can conceive it, you can believe it, then you can achieve it. I honestly, that has been kind of the mantra that I've tried to put forth and think about. I haven't done it to the fullest like I should have and I wanted to. That's kind of one of their regrets, which I guess is the next question. Any regrets? But that's really what it is not taking the time to set out clear goals and paths for this year and use that mantra of conceiving things and putting forward my thoughts to be able to achieve certain things. I have achieved a lot, but I feel like I could have done more if I would have just planned it out a little bit better. So that's what I look forward to doing next year. What have you learned from this year's failures? And there you go. I'm answering these questions. I'm so good at answering questions. I'm already into the next questions, but yes, what I've learned is that and what I'm going to do for next year. And then the goals for this year are going to be similar for goals for next year, similar to ones for this year, which is to continue to grow. But I want to get better at creating really where I fall short. And when I was talking about my health earlier, where I fall short is I'm either all in or all out on everything that I do. Literally everything. If I'm eating bad and doing whatever I want, that's all that I'm doing. If I'm eating healthy and working out, I'm not going to eat bad at all. But like if I'm eating bad and I can't work out, I have to be all in or all out on whatever I do. I got to find that balance of being able to enjoy things, but also sticking with what I'm supposed to do. And like same with like TikTok when I'm creating videos and getting on live and hanging out with everybody. With all of that, like I'm either all in or I'm all out. I'm taking a break, or I'm all in going on live and creating videos, doing the podcast, doing all this stuff. So I'm either all in or all out. And I want to find a nice balance to where I don't have to be all in all the time And when I take a step back, I don't have to completely cut everything off. That's the big goal for 2022. That's a lot of twos that we're going to have next year. That is going to be a lot of twos. But looking back, I have had a lot. I've put on TikTok, if you guys have not seen, the last couple of videos I posted were reposts, I think 97, 99, and 04. I reposted those Life is Good series. If you haven't seen those yet, go check them out. But there are so many great memories looking back on 2021, and so many great people that I met and connected with and spent time with and seen a lot of things. And it's easy to have regrets. It's easy to, have hindsight and look back and say, yeah, well, I should have done that different. I could have, I don't know, whatever you want to say. But I'm going to try to take this year as, even though there were negatives, I'm going to look at the positives and carry those into 22, because that is where I think we all need to be. Let's look at 2022 and what we can all do and what we can do together, because 22 is going to be such a fun year. I can't wait to just, I don't know. I'm really ready to kind of put those plans in place putting plans of action in place in my life to live a better, healthier life, to be better planned and prepared and on the right path for success, which is kind of vague because I don't want to get too much into my personal details of specific things that I'm doing, but I am working on myself. I'm working on myself, my mental health. I'm working on my physical health and looking better and feeling better and really just thinking of myself better and tuning out things that I need to. So that's what I'm doing. And I hope, if there's anything that I can do, and you guys on TikTok right now, if there's ever anything that I can do for you, because that's too why I do what I do and create videos, and why I have this platform is for everyone who's out there who follows me on social media. It's not just me. Yeah, I'm here and I'm the face that you see, but also, it's because of you. So whatever I could do to be there for you in whatever way, create content. I still want to do the long distance dedications. I have the email saved right here. Send me those, and I want to create that. And I don't know if there's any type of outlet with that, of whatever, I don't know, pain there may be with somebody, or some type of connection that you've lost. And I don't know, whatever, it's a long distance dedication. You make it for whatever you need or are feeling. But I want to be able to do that and help people grow with themselves. I'm working on things with me, and I enjoy helping other people too. So I'm excited for that. So as we drift towards rounding out the end of the podcast episode, this is going to be one of the longer ones, and I'm excited. Maybe not longer. We're at 28 minutes right now. I was thinking it was a little bit longer than that. I'm optimistic. What are you going to do? But we always end it with rapid fire questions. So if you want to know a little bit about Brady, let me pull up the questions here. That's why I'm kind of slowly talking as I pull up the questions. You can enjoy this voice for a minute as I distract you and not let you know that I already closed out this file with the questions. All right, I got the questions pulled up here. Happy birthday to somebody who's somebody's birthday out there, Daniel. Happy birthday, Daniel, on TikTok. Hopefully, if you're still on the live, you saw that. And my hand is all right. It's just, I probably don't need to wear this. I probably need to wear it when I'm sleeping, but I just want it to be all right. And thank you, John, for checking in on me. I appreciate you, my friend. You're too kind. All right, it's time to end the podcast with rapid fire questions. And then I will also, awesome, I'm glad you saw it, Daniel. I will also answer any of the questions. If you guys got questions for me on TikTok or anything, I don't know, whatever it may be, put them up there and I'll answer those as well. And we'll get into that. So I'll start the rapid fire here, and I'll answer some more on TikTok if you guys have any for me there. Like the Raising Cane's Chick-fil-A question earlier. I guess that's the segue into it. All right, so let's start here. We've got 70s or 80s fashion. That's a good question. I feel like 70s is more like timeless. You could see it. I feel like it's more like neutral muted colors, is not as loud. But like 80s now is coming back, like 80s and 90s fashion. So I feel like I wanted to say 70s, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think I'm gonna go 80s. I want to say 90s. I'm biased on that, being a 90s kid, but I will go 80s on that. Casino or lottery? I don't know why that's a question, but casino, 1,000% playing the lottery sucks. You have no control, and then you got to wait like a week to play again. Unless you can play like all the other games that you do, but casino is more fun. Cheetos or Doritos? Doritos. I'm not a big Cheetos person. I do like the Cheetos, the jalapeno Cheetos. The green one. They're not green, but like the bag, it has green on it. Not the Flamin' Hot, but the jalapeno. I like those, but I'm picking Doritos. Overall, I like Doritos better. I was into Flamin' Hot Limon Doritos. Because I randomly did, back when I did the series Hire Brady, I did an ad adding a voiceover for Doritos Flamin' Hot Limon. So then I saw it, and then I had it, and I actually liked them. But Doritos either way. Pop-Tart or toaster strudel? Toaster strudel for sure. That's the choice. But the convenience of Pop-Tart is unprecedented. Like for you to just rip open the package and have a snack and or breakfast right there at the palm of your hand, that's incredible. It's hard not to pick Pop-Tarts, but toaster strudels are better. It's just a lot more work. I'm a fan of less work, especially when it comes to snacks. I like grab and go. Personal trainer or train yourself? I would go with train yourself. I think, well, maybe, I don't know. I feel like I probably do need a personal trainer, but my stepmom was a personal trainer growing up, so I learned a lot from her. So like now, like I'm kind of getting back in my fitness journey. It's easier for me to kind of get back into it because I know a lot from all the stuff that she helped me with and taught me growing up. But I feel like if you don't know anything, I feel like personal trainer for other people. Potato chips, another chip question. Plain or sour cream and onion or barbecue? The answer is never plain. Never plain. I don't know why you would ever buy just plain potato chips. Sour cream and onion, I feel like that's phasing out. Like that used to be like a good option, but now that's just like that's almost like plain. It's just like generic. Kind of same with barbecue. I guess I'm going to go barbecue. I don't know. I don't love any of those choices. That was a gross question. And finally on the rapid fire questions that I have here, if you guys have any on TikTok, let me know. I got at least one on there, but dirty laundry or dirty dishes? I'm confused by this question because I don't know if they're asking me what I would rather do, which that's how I'm going to take it. Would I rather do the dishes or do laundry? And dishes. God, I don't want to do either, to be honest. I think, but I would pick dishes. I do more dish work. I never do the laundry, thank God. I'm blessed in that department. But laundry, if you didn't have to fold, I'd rather do laundry. But because of the folding, I do dishes. And like I'm fine with like throwing everything in the washer and throwing it in the dryer. I don't mind doing that. That's easy. But it's the folding. That's where it gets you. That is where it gets you. And the last question, I'm reading some of them here. What's going on, Steve? Mike again. Do you remember the Pepsi commercial that we filmed? We filmed a Pepsi commercial? Oh, what's up, dude? I was like, yes, I do. Oh my goodness. I didn't even recognize it. It's the little filter you got on your picture there. What's going on, my friend? I'm going to wrap up this, though, with this podcast as we got one last question of, do I believe in ghosts? And the answer is no, I don't believe in ghosts. I don't have any ghost stories to tell. there's been some interesting stuff, but never experienced a ghost. Well, okay, so they're asking on TikTok Live, if you're not watching, if I have to fold. You're saying you don't have to fold. And the reason, I hate, if there's a way to not do this, I don't like wrinkles. So what I used to do, my parents used to hate me for this in high school. I would do laundry and then I wouldn't fold my clothes because I hate folding, and then they'd be all wrinkled. So then literally as I'm showering, like right before I get in the shower, this was my routine. I'd turn the shower on, I'd get my wrinkled clothes and go throw them in the dryer with a dryer sheet for so it smelled good and to get the wrinkles out. And so the dryer would run for like 20 minutes while I showered, got out, put fresh, wrinkle-free clothes on, and I loved it. I loved every bit of that. But my parents did not like that. I think because of the electric bill running the dryer for 20 minutes every single day. So it got something in the UK called crease release. I think we have something like that. I don't know. That's a nice name though. I don't think we have some type of like Downy, something you spray on it. There it is. Downy wrinkle releaser. But I don't trust that. I've used it before and I'm very particular. But now, yeah, I think there's a folding technique that Chelsea taught me and that doesn't really wrinkle. But also now like I hang stuff up more. And so, a 20-minute shower. Listen here, Scott, 20-minute shower. That's like the full time of me getting ready is, like turn the shower on, shower, get out, get ready, shave, do my hair, all that good stuff. That's all in. But we'll see you later, Muzz. Thanks for joining. And as we say goodbye to Muzz, we will say goodbye to everybody. To wrap up the podcast, I'm going to try to not do any editing on this podcast. Like I said, there was a couple of times I heard some clicks, some noises I didn't like. So I could just hear these things in my ear and I hate it. But I'm going to try not to do it so I can put it up and I can sync this video, hopefully, and put it up on YouTube if you guys wanted to watch this. Watch my beautiful face talk instead. But I recommend, if you did not watch, to only listen on the podcast. You're not missing out on anything, I don't think. But I appreciate you guys for listening and for hanging out with me, for being on live. I'll still stick on live and hang out for a few minutes once I wrap up the podcast. But I appreciate you. Wrapping up episode 9 of the podcast. That blows my mind just thinking about that I have 9 episodes of my own podcast because you guys encouraged me to do this. And I'm grateful for every moment that I have to do something like this. I really am. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing a podcast next week because next week is going to be crazy as I'm be traveling, but I will try to get one out. And then I've also got 2 basketball games next week too, on the same day, on Tuesday. It's going to be a busy day. And then we're leaving town Wednesday for Christmas. But either way, we'll see you at some point, and I'll obviously update you on social media when the new episode will be. So thank you guys for listening. I appreciate you. This has been episode 9 of The Brady LaRock Show.